Great, thank you. Hi, I'm Karen Benardello, and I write for ShockYa.com. Well, thank you again also for taking the time out today. I appreciate it.
Of course. Nice to
Mhm.
meet you.
You too. Okay, so I wanted to get started asking about how you became attached to produce the film and what that experience was like of becoming involved in the movie and just maybe your overall producing style on the film as well.
Yeah, I mean, first 87 North is always looking for iconic characters that have a relatable arc that we can plaster action on that makes the arc connectable and emotional. And this had that in spades. So it's Bob's original idea. He comes to us, he's like, I want Derek Kolstad to write this thing. We obviously have a relationship with Kolstad. I actually think he already had connected with him too, but then it just kind of helped. Derek is a perfect writer for this kind of project. And, we have a great producing partner in Braden Aftergood as well, who's made a lot of great pictures. And, and that is the foundation of what makes a great movie, right? Everybody sort of lining up just so the perfect people coming together in just the right ways, being additive, everybody being additive, and then kind of going for it. And it was just luxurious that way in this particular instance. But, as far as producing style, that's kind of what I hope for every time out. You don't always get it, but you're always trying to kind of find all the right pieces that sort of, set it up for the most success that it can have.
And also speaking about Bob and the rest of the cast, I also wanted to ask about bringing on the rest of the actors and if you were involved at all in helping with the casting and what was that experience like of having the other actors sign on as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Ilya Neischuler had a lot of ideas that way as well that we were super, supportive of and luckily aligned with. I think that the choices of Riza is, brings the cool and also just kind of a complex family that we all now have in our lives. I think Connie Nielsen brought a sensitivity to a character that could have gone very cold, and thankfully she played it with enough compassion and warmth that we could see that they could bridge back to each other. I think that Chris Lloyd is honestly a shock. Yeah. Where has that guy been, and thank goodness he wanted to play, because it's just such an exciting revelation. Like, we all know and love him and haven't seen him a lot. So what a treat to have him in this picture.
And also speaking of working with Elias, the director, what was that experience like as well to collaborate with him and work with him throughout the production as well?
We've been fans of Elias since Biting Elbows. I don't know if you saw that music video back in the days or not, but it is so cool. First person, just like Hardcore Henry, and lyrical and artful and action based. So we knew he had, the desire and also some, a lot of skill in our spaces already. And then I think he just, he came in and talked about the character in ways that were additive. And honestly, the whole process was having a partner in the experience and a journey. It was kind of fun because he hadn't made a picture for, for a studio. And so we were able to guide him through that in a way that was kind of fun too. It was like a new experience for him.
Mm-hmm. Speaking also of his work, doing like Hardcore Henry and just in general his visual style overall as a director and filmmaker overall, do you really like collaborating with directors like him who have such like a strong visual style? And what was that experience like for this film and maybe working with him on the visual?
Yeah. I mean, he brought on, I'm going to butcher his name, but Pavel Pagolowski, who's a phenomenal DP, and lights with fewer lights than I've ever seen anyone light. and they were a great little duo who came up with and really detailed in their preparation. So they came in with a plan. They came in with, an arc to the visual style, which David tries to do every time out as well. And I really appreciated. And that part of it was, was just extra special. To be honest, like when we collaborate with directors, they don't have to have action experience. We're actually looking for all the rest of it, and we can bring the action component. And so we got both in Ilya, and that was really special. I'm so excited about what he does next, and hope to be a part of all of it. He's amazing.
And also speaking about the action and the that style of for the film as well, I also wanted to ask about your experience maybe helping with creating those action sequences and what that process was like as well throughout the course of the film.
Yeah, I mean, 87 North brings together a group of guys and gals who we have trained, who we've been on films before, who we've found in the world. And in this, in every instance, it's about the character based. What can the character do? What does the character need to do? What action facilitates the arc that the character is on? And, we brought on Greg Rementer and his team for this one because he's great at he's on all of our pictures. In this instance, he got to do something really gritty and grounded and really tight, close quarters with a couple of the sequences. And he crushed it, and the whole team did. And some of that also, we have to shout out to Daniel Bernhardt, who trained Bob for so long.
And also, I wanted to ask about the locations for the film as well, and what that experience was like, especially like with Bob's character, his family house, and like the warehouse where he works, and what that experience was like as well of really figuring out where the shoot was going to take place as well.
Yeah, I mean, have you been to Winnipeg?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah,
it's a cool town, right? It's got this rural connection to this urban environment. It was actually, I think the architects were some of the same architects who built some American cities like Chicago and such. And it was supposed to be this crazy, awesome sort of train. It's halfway in between the two coasts in Canada. So it was supposed to be this big shipping hub, and it didn't quite turn into that. So with that, you get a lot of different varied looks, and we were able to, and by the way, they're the most production friendly city that I've ever worked in. The permits are a piece of cake, and you can basically shoot anywhere, and and really nice people and a phenomenal crew. But it was able to give us a varied look, and and we were able to do practical locations all the way through, which was really a treat. Kind of, especially with COVID these days, we're finding ourselves in stages a lot, so it was really nice to be on location for that one.
Yeah, I actually went a few years ago to Winnipeg for a couple set visits, so I really liked it going there. So that's why I was interested in hearing about. Yeah. So I was interested in hearing about that experience for you as well. So
I loved it. I didn't get to go see the polar bears. And then they have this really cool restaurant that's like on the ice in the winter, and it didn't open before we left. We shot it in November, and I think it opens after Christmas or something. But it's a really, really cool town.
And also I wanted to ask about the film's upcoming release and what that experience was of really figuring out the distribution and really securing that and working with Universal in that sense as well.
Honestly, one of the biggest challenges of the film. We had such a great time making it, and a lot of freedom in sort of our choices there, and we're able to incubate it like really, really well and really just beautifully. And then, the release has been the challenging part. And honestly, I have to give it to Universal. I trust them implicitly. Their marketing department could not be as maybe the best in the world, arguably. And they've been just really thoughtful about, how to get as many people to see the movie as possible. And I really respect that they're, and we just believe in the theatrical experience. So I love that they're trying the theatrical release in this. And I do believe it's a picture that everybody should see in the theaters and on March 26th. And that they should, and it's an experiential film where there should be shock and awe moments where you just want to gasp with everybody else around you too. That being said, 3 weeks later, if people aren't comfortable hitting theaters yet, then, they can see it still when it's, early days, which I think is really smart.
Well, I think that was mainly it, but thank you again for taking the time out. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen. It's so nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks again. Bye.